You've probably been hearing a lot about the new Bilt cards and wondering whether or not they make sense for your family. And in today's episode, we are breaking down all the details. So listen in. Hi, I'm Rhea.
And I'm Dwayne.
And we are your hosts of the Travel Party of Five podcast, where we share how we travel as a family of five around the world.
We will also share how we use points and miles to travel as affordably as possible and sometimes even completely free.
So if you're wanting to travel more with your family, but you're not sure how, we'd love for you to listen in.
So welcome to our podcast, where we hope you learn a thing or two to get you closer to your next trip. Welcome back.
Hello, friends.
Thanks for tuning in.
Welcome back to Travel Party of Five podcast.
So Rhea wanted me to tell you guys that we are going to talk about three things today. Our American airline status.
Yes.
One.
Yes.
Two is you booked us another trip to Cabo.
Yes.
And three, Bilt credit cards.
Yes.
Yes, which I know nothing about. I know about Cabo.
Yes.
But
so someone asked me on Instagram, actually a couple people have asked me in the last few months for an update on the American Airlines status, because I think I talked in an episode, or maybe it was even an entire episode last year, around trying to utilize like shopping portals and spend on the AA credit cards to achieve American Airlines status, and then evaluate whether or not having the status makes sense for our family in particular, and then therefore maybe your family if you want to go this route. So let me share a brief bit about the journey, and then I'll kind of share, we can both share our thoughts on it. So first of all, I reached American Airlines Gold status, and if you're not familiar, there's 4 status levels. There's Gold, Platinum, Platinum Pro, and Executive Platinum. So I reached Gold status with a combination of credit card spend and shopping portals. Most of it was shopping portals. Really, the only credit card spend was because we did the AA double dip. So meeting the subs on both of those cards last year contributed towards the status. And then the rest was just shopping portals and whatever. So I got the Gold status. Then I got an email where Hyatt was doing a status match. So if you had globalist status, you could match to Platinum Pro, which is their third highest or second lowest, depending on how you want to think of it, status level. So then I thought, okay.
How does that match the globalist status?
It basically says, like, because you have Hyatt globalist status, like, we're going to give you this opportunity to match to this, what they deem equivalent level of American Airlines status, because Hyatt and AA have a kind of partnership. And then if you like meet certain requirements and spend on the card in a 3 or 4 month window, you have the opportunity to then keep that status for like another 4 months. And it's kind of like a cycle, so you can keep it going.
I get it, but when you say match, globalist being the highest status of Hyatt.
Right.
So they're really not matching it if they're going to give you the second tier status. Like,
so even if you have like Explorer status with Hyatt, you can match to either AA Gold or Platinum. So I think it just matches you to, like, depending on what your status with Hyatt is, it matches you to like a level up. I'm not 100% sure how it works. I just know that they sent me this offer, and then I thought, oh, I can match to this and have it for the next 4 months and not have to do anything really. And so I did that because we had a few flights booked on AA during that time. So we had a few positioning flights, and I don't know, whatever. We also had the flight to Japan was on JAL, but anyways. So I did that. I did the status match. So for the last 4 months of 2025, we actually had Platinum Pro status. And so I don't know, we flew 3 or 4 times utilizing it. We were group 2 boarding, and we did have the opportunity to choose main cabin extra seats at no additional cost to us. So I could book like a basic economy fare if I wanted to, and then use my status to get us all seats together closer towards the front of the plane. And then it also gives you like free checked bags. The other benefit is you get upgrades if they're available, but it's only for you and one companion. So if you're traveling with more than 2 people, you either have to separate yourself from the reservation on a separate PNR, which you can do, and I did one time, or you just kind of forego your chance of being upgraded. Not one time have we been upgraded. And I will say not every time I separated it. So there were a few times where I knew there was no chance because they're not going to upgrade 5 of us. It's just literally never going to happen. But also because we fly out of an AA hub, there's just a lot of executive platinums and also people that can buy to upgrade. So it never happened to us, not one time. And since then, the match status has expired. It expired at the very end of 2025. But then I hit AA platinum status just on my own. I actually went in to check and I was like, oh, how far away am I? And I was like 300 points. So I was like, oh, okay. Like that's easily doable. So I was able to hit that. And so we will have platinum status for the rest of 2026 and the first 2 months of 2027 because AA status runs March 1st to February 28th or 29th. So I guess if I wanted, I could make a big push over the next 5 or 6 weeks to get up to the next level. But I think I still need, I would need like 50,000 loyalty points to do that. And that just doesn't seem realistic to me. So with platinum, we still get to choose main cabin extra seats at no cost. And there is still the potential for an upgrade. Although again, I don't think it's going to happen. I'm actually flying tomorrow on a work trip on AA. And
Work trip in quotations.
what do you mean?
That's just what I tell all my coworkers. I'm like, hey, my wife is going on a work trip this week, so I have to leave early and pick up kids. I have to babysit my kids, I tell them.
Oh, God. So I'm platinum. So now second level up, right? So one step down from the platinum pro that I matched to, but I didn't fulfill the requirements to keep that status because I don't know. Did you like being able to board in group 2? Like, that's nice, I guess.
I mean, it is. It's basically 1 because no one's in
group 1. Yeah.
So, yeah.
But
I'm all for it.
It's great to have, but like, do you think it's worth like spending tens of thousands of dollars to get it?
No, especially if they have family boarding.
Well, they don't, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like the earlier boarding. With Platinum, I'm group 3. With Platinum Pro, I was group 2. So, but for example, for tomorrow, it says...
the only reason why we need that is because you make us only take carry-ons.
Yeah, so it's nice if you have carry-on only because then you definitely will have space for your bags. But even when I'm like group 5, I don't know. First of all, I would probably get on at the end of group 4 if I'm group 5, just saying. I've never not had room for my bag. But when you're a family, like you need room for 5 bags. So I guess that does make a difference. I don't know. At the end of the day, I'm just not really sure it's super helpful, but we will have platinum through the rest of the year. And so we will see how that goes. Overall, though, like, I guess if you're going to check bags a lot, then I definitely see the value more so because what is it, like $30, $40, $50 a bag?
I wouldn't know because we don't check bags.
Oh, Lord. Good Lord. Yes. So. Okay. So, all right.
All right. So, Cabo, what was your process for booking that?
Oh, yes. Let me talk about Cabo. But sorry, I was going to say one thing about my work trip. Okay. So I'm flying to Florida tomorrow on AA, and it said that I was eligible for an upgrade, 48 hours prior to takeoff. And it is now like less than 24 hours until takeoff, and I have been given no upgrade. I am on the upgrade list. I can't see the wait list until probably late tonight or early tomorrow morning, but I have 0% chance that, I have zero hope is the word, 0 hope that I will get upgraded. Like, I just don't think it's going to happen. So I definitely wouldn't get this status thinking you're going to get upgrades. You need to go way higher. So that's my 2 cents. I really don't think it's worth it unless you're a family who, checks a lot of bags and whatever. So that's my 2 cents. But it is nice to get on the plane earlier. So there we have it. Okay, let's transition to Cabo because we're going to fly AA to Cabo. So we have a few longer trips again this year. There's 2 places I really, really want to go without kids. One is Antigua and the other one is Bora Bora. But to do both of those, I feel like we need at least 5 or 6 nights away from the kids, if not 7. And there's just not enough PTO in the world to go around this year to make that happen. So we're going to go to Cabo this year in the summer, 4 nights. We are going to stay at the Park Hyatt Cabo, and we're going to stay at the
Waldorf Astoria.
Yes, Los Cabos Pedregal.
Yes.
And so I used points to book the Park Hyatt Cabo. I also used a suite upgrade award, but I may cancel that part because it's only 2 nights, and I don't know if that's the best use of it. It just depends if I find a better use for that one, I'll cancel it. But as of now, we have 5 suite upgrade awards.
Which property are we staying at first?
The Park Hyatt Cabo.
Oh, yeah. I say we use it and just see if we can check in early.
Well, I mean, we're going to get there at like 1 p.m., so.
Say we keep it.
And then the second 2 nights will be at the Waldorf Astoria Los Cabos, which is a Hilton property. And I used 2 Hilton Free Night certificates to book that stay. And fun fact, one of our Hilton Free Night certificates was actually expiring July 1st. And we are not going on this trip until August. And when I use the chat feature to book these. You can call, but when I'm booking through Dwayne's account, I always like to use the chat because then he doesn't have to do it.
Yeah, because you're not me.
Yeah, but I can be him through the chat. And so I just said, hey, I want to book this night or whatever. And the chat person was basically like, oh, your certificate is expired. Hold on, I need to get an extension. And then I was, waited for a bit, and then they came back and they said, okay, like you're all set. So I think if you have Hilton Free Night certificates and they are expiring, it is worth, asking like if they can be extended a little bit. So give that a try. That worked for us. And so, yeah, so 4 nights in Cabo. I started using a new tracker for tracking all of our trips, and the cents per point for this trip is 8.3 cents per point for across all of it. So I'm really excited. We'll fly economy on AA there and back. It's a nonstop flight. Because of my platinum status, I was able to choose main cabin extra seats, which have, I guess, a little extra leg room. So I guess that's nice. I don't know. I'm not a tall person, so we'll see. But really looking forward to that. I think it'll be nice. And then hopefully next year we will plan to do some shorter family trips so that we can do a longer couples trip.
Yeah, that would be nice. So relaxing.
Okay.
I'm excited for Cabo because we had such a great time last time.
We did have a great time. And the Park Hyatt Cabo is brand new. It just opened in the last month. And so I feel like by the time we go, they'll be open for almost a year, and they'll have had time to work out all the kinks. Plus all the food that we ate in Cabo was so good. Except
for the Korean fried chicken.
Oh, Lord, yes. Listen, just because you're not the best orderer, it's not Cabo's fault.
I didn't say it was Cabo's fault. I just don't get the Korean fried chicken in Cabo.
Well, it was at the Cape. The Manta, what was that restaurant called? Manta at the Cape.
Yeah, but it also had a Michelin star.
Yes, correct. Well, the tacos that I got were
they were great.
Delicious.
And the little appetizer, what was it? Some tuna.
Oh, yeah, we had, I don't know. There was some kind of ceviche. There was also chicharrones. I don't know. It was all the food we had was good. Even the guacamole at the bar on the beach where all the people are harassing you all the time, even that was delicious. So looking forward to that. It's not a long flight. And we get to experience 2 other luxury Cabo properties. So I'm looking forward to that. Okay, we're going to dive into the main topic, which is the Bilt 2.0 credit cards. And I was trying to give Dwayne a brief rundown of this last night because I have been deep into the Bilt cards over the last week, but he and I have not talked about it one time. And it's like kind of weird to be so, I don't want to say invested in something, but like to be like so focused on something and then have your partner like be completely unaware. Like it's
completely unaware. Even when you were giving me the rundown last night, it was late and I was like dozing off while you were explaining to me. So I have no idea what you said last night.
Okay, so here's the background, and Bilt wants their new cards to be like an everyday person's everyday spending card. Like that is their goal. And so I thought it would be fun if I could explain it to Dwayne, who is absolutely an everyday person, and see if it makes sense. Because it's pretty confusing. And I say that as someone who looks at credit card offers all day long and is still like, wait, what? So, okay, let me give you the details first. So, and I guess let me preface this by saying we're recording this on Sunday, January 18th, and these cards were announced on Wednesday, January 14th, and by the end of the week, so I think the 16th, the CEO has already come out and made a change. So, everything that I'm saying today, I guess has the potential to change, but this is what we know so far and how it is so far. So there will be 3 Bilt cards. They are the Bilt Blue, the Bilt Obsidian, and the Bilt Palladium. And I guess let me also say I'm not going to go into an incredible amount of detail on each card. I'm going to give you the high-level overview. Then I'm going to give you my thoughts on whether or not we're going to get these cards and maybe what you should think about if you're, a family traveler using points and miles and whether they make sense for you or not. So the Bilt Blue card, which is the kind of lowest level, there is no annual fee. And the sub, and I'm putting that in quotation marks, so the sign-up bonus is $100 in Bilt cash when you apply and get approved. One other important thing to note is these cards are not available for applications yet. They will be as of February 7th, 2026, unless you currently hold a Bilt card. And then I believe you can like basically make your choice of what you want your new card to be. I have heard of like people who have the card getting declined though, which is another frustrating and confusing piece of this puzzle. If you haven't been paying attention, the rollout of these cards has not gone fantastic. It has been a little bit of a train wreck. So anyways, so the Bilt Blue card, $0 annual fee, $100 Bilt cash when you sign up. It earns 1x on everyday spend. And then it also earns 4% Bilt cash on everyday spend. So sorry, the 1x is Bilt points and the 4% is Bilt cash. So there are 2 separate kind of earning buckets here. So you need to remember that. And that's going to be the same for all 3 cards. So there's Bilt points and Bilt cash. The way that Bilt originally came about, if you don't know, is they made themselves known as the card that you can use to pay your rent and you can earn points on rent. So many people have this huge rent expense and they were unable to earn points on it. And Bilt has been teasing that mortgages were coming. So you could earn points on your mortgage coming soon. And these cards are going to allow you to do that, but not in the same way that you have previously been able to earn points on rent. And to be quite honest, not in a way that I think makes a lot of sense, but okay, so let me finish running through the rest of the kind of overviews of the 3 cards, and then we'll talk about how the points earnings work and how the Bilt cash can potentially work. The second card after the Bilt Blue card is the Bilt Obsidian card. This is like their mid-range card. The annual fee is $95, and the sign-up bonus, again in quotation marks because is it really one, is $200 in Bilt cash, but again, no points. This card is going to earn 3x on dining or grocery. and you have to choose which one, and you can only choose once per year. So within 30 days of approval of getting the card, you have to decide if you're going to do it on dining or grocery. And the grocery is capped at $25,000 spent per year. It also earns 2x on travel and then 1x on everyday spend. Similar to the Bilt Blue card, it also earns 4% 4% Bilt cash on everyday spend, in addition to the points earning rates. And with this card, you get a $100 Bilt travel hotel credit that you have to use twice a year, $50 the first half, $50 the second half, and there's a 2-night minimum stay required. Ugh. The third card is the Bilt Palladium card, and this is their premium card. Annual fee is $495, but this one has an actual sign-up bonus, so no air quotes needed here. It is 50,000 Bilt points plus $300 in Bilt cash. You also get with this card Gold Elite status after you meet the sub. The sub is spending $4,000 on non-housing spend in the first 3 months of the card. And so the 50,000 points you get after you meet the $4,000 in spend, the $300 Bilt cash you get when you are approved for the card. Again, I said the fee is $495. This card earns 2x on your everyday spend and 1x on mortgage or rent. We're going to come back to that because there's a caveat to that. And then it also earns, again, 4% Bilt cash on everyday spend, not including your mortgage or your rent. This one also has some coupons, which we hate. It has $400 in Bilt travel hotel credit. Again, a 2-night minimum stay required, and you have to use it $200 in the first half of the year, $200 in the second half of the year. It also comes with Priority Pass, and you can, which I don't value at all because we have 17 other cards that have Priority Pass. All of these cards are a MasterCard, so that is worth noting. You cannot use them in person at Costco, but MasterCard does have some like benefits, and some of it's like travel protections and whatnot. Okay. The other piece that we need to talk about is how you earn points on your mortgage or your rent. So if you have the Bilt card currently, previously you were able to pay your rent with your Bilt card and earn points with no fee as long as you had like 5 transactions a month on the card. And so people were buying like 5 bananas one at a time and, calling that your 5 transactions, which is true. It works. And then they were having the opportunity to pay, their rent with no fee. However, we could probably all agree that is not a sustainable business model. And so the way that you can earn points on your rent or mortgage now is either you pay the fee to do it, which is 3% of whatever your rent is. So if your rent is $1,000 or your mortgage, then the fee would be $30. Or that is one of the things that you can use the Bilt cash for, is to offset the fee, basically pay the fee for you. So if you spend enough to earn $30 in Bilt cash, and again, that's everyday spend, but not your mortgage or your rent, then you can utilize that Bilt cash to cover the fee to pay your mortgage or your rent. The other option is you can just pay it, but I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't recommend anyone do that. Okay, so I just don't love any of these cards. I also think that the Bilt cash is kind of half-baked because it's not super clear what else it can be used for other than to offset the fee. The other piece that doesn't really make any sense is that when you pay, like let's say, okay, let me give you a full real life example. Our mortgage is roughly $1,800 a month. It's a little bit less, but let's just call it $1,800 a month, okay? Which is pretty low, okay? We have a sub 3% interest rate and we're not going anywhere. So if we wanted to use the Bilt Palladium card, that's the one that I would get if I were going to get one because it's the only one that has a sign-up bonus. If we were going to use that to pay our mortgage, we would have to pay $54 in fees to do so. So I would need to earn $54 in Bilt cash to offset the fee. But here's the thing I don't understand. The way that the mortgage would be paid is through an ACH pull. Okay, that's the way we pay our mortgage now, from our bank account directly to the mortgage account. So you're not even using the card for the mortgage. So the fee that you're paying is you're essentially just buying the Bilt points. And I think that's silly, because $1,800 times 12 months is 21,600 points. That is not a lot of points for a whole year. If you have a higher mortgage,
That's really no points.
I know, that's like one night in a Hyatt, a decent Hyatt. Like it's not good. It's not good.
If I'm being honest, I don't even know why we're talking about this Bilt card.
There's it's a big hullabaloo in the Points and Miles community. And I do think that there is a use case for getting the card in certain situations. And we're going to talk about that. I'll give my thoughts in a second, but I wanted to quickly share. So the update that the CEO of Bilt shared, again, 2 days after the launch, like they launched and then the response was so bad and so negative and so overwhelmingly not positive that they already made changes. And so they basically have announced like 2 options for going forward. Okay. So the first option 1, pay your full rent, and I'm reading this directly from his post, so there can be no like miscommunication. You can pay your full rent or mortgage every month with no transaction fee and earn points on housing in lieu of earning Bilt cash. And your everyday spend will not earn Bilt cash, but you'll still get your annual or welcome Bilt cash credits with the card. And then the more you use your card for everyday spend, the higher your points multiplier on housing will be, up to 1.25x. So if you spend at least 25% of your monthly rent on the card, and in this example that he gives, it's a $2,000 rent amount or mortgage. Okay. So let's say if your mortgage or rent is $2,000, if you spend 25% of your monthly rent on the card, and again, that's everyday spend, that this isn't paying your mortgage with the card. So let's say you want to use your mortgage or want to use the card to pay your mortgage. So then you need to buy like $500 of, let's just call it groceries on this card. Okay. You'll earn 0.5x points on your mortgage spend. If you spend 50% of whatever your rent amount is, in this example, it's going to be $1,000 on, let's just call it groceries or whatever, you're going to earn 0.75x points. To earn 1x points, you have to spend at least 75% of your monthly rent, so $1,500 in this example, again, on non-mortgage or housing spend. So groceries, gas, whatever. And then if you spend at least an amount equal or greater to your mortgage or rent amount, so in this example, that's $2,000, you'll earn 1.25x points on the spend. So you would then earn for a $2,000 mortgage, you would earn 2,500 points. But only if you spend $2,000 on other things using that card. So one thing you have to consider is the opportunity cost of spending that $2,000 on the Bilt card versus using that spend to get a sign-up bonus on a different card, right? So if every month, you want to earn the 1.25x points, that's $2,000 that you have to spend on the Bilt card that you therefore cannot spend on a new sign-up bonus for another credit card. So number 1, you have to factor in what is your monthly spend and can you make that, and is it worth the opportunity cost? The other option that he has given is the original fee-free structure is still available, and that's what we already talked about. So the 4% back in Bilt cash on everyday purchases, in addition to base points that you would earn on the card. Remember, Bilt cash and Bilt points are 2 completely separate buckets. And then you can utilize that Bilt cash to offset the fees to pay your mortgage or rent every month. And then they claim that you can also redeem Bilt cash dollar for dollar for monthly credits across the Bilt ecosystem. In parentheses, it does say with monthly merchant specific caps or for exclusive benefits like higher transfer bonuses or special access to experiences. Obviously, the more you spend on like regular expenses and not housing expenses, the more cash you'll earn. That's, again, going back to, I think the Bilt cash idea is half baked because it is unclear at this point what other things we could utilize Bilt cash for. And if you're like outside, I think in New York City, maybe there's a more built up ecosystem, but in Phoenix, Arizona, not so much. So I don't really know what the heck I would do with the Bilt cash. And at the end of the year, you can only roll over $100 of Bilt cash. So you have to find a use for it. So here is where I think it could make sense. First of all, are you so confused?
Well, I mean, being that I know the minimal, I have the minimal knowledge of this.
You are the everyday person, right? That's like,
from what I'm hearing you say, this card sounds horrible. Like I don't even know why we're talking about it, to be honest. Like I don't get it.
it's because people have been so excited to learn about this launch, and they've been teasing it for months and months and maybe even years, really, because no one has been able to earn points on mortgages until now, with the exception of the Mesa card, which you also don't know anything about, but came out last year and is already out of business.
Yeah, I mean, I see this going the same route.
Well, Bilt has been around for like 5 years, so it's not as new. There is a lot of unknowns about their card issuer that they just moved to, which is called Cardless. So they're switching from Wells Fargo over to Cardless. You can only get one of these 3 Bilt cards, so you can't get all of them or 2 of them. You just have to choose one. Here's where I think the use case could make sense, and I think if you're going to get one, I'll give you my recommendation. So I think the Bilt Palladium card, which is the premium card, the $495 annual fee card, I think it potentially could make sense for the first year if a couple of things. One, I wouldn't calculate the $200 semi-annual hotel credit as a benefit. Like the rage that I feel when they say that you have to do a 2-night minimum stay to utilize this hotel credit is, I mean, it really pisses me off, because I find that so, like, you might as well just say, we don't actually want you to utilize this credit. You know, like, why can't I use the $200 on one night? You know, they want breakage. They want people to not use the credit so that they can become more profitable. And that just really irks me. So I wouldn't consider that credit as, like, I probably won't even use it. But 50, go ahead.
I was just going to say, but I mean, most people that are staying at a hotel are going to stay more than one night.
Well, we would either stay one night or like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So the 2 is just enraging, because then you can't use it for like an airport hotel. You can't use it on a road trip. Like, it really limits the possibilities, I think. And I mean, maybe other people do, but you and I don't spend a lot of 2 nights in a hotel for the most part, you know, and also $200 off the type of hotels that we like to stay in is nothing. Like when you,
excuse me, Miss Bougie.
well, when you use points and miles, you're like, why would I pay cash for this hotel? $200 off $1,000, it's still $800 a night, but I could use points and get it for 0. So like, what is the point? That is one of my biggest pet peeves. So anyways, here's where I do think the card could make sense though. Chase has been cracking down on, you know, inks and business cards and personal cards and all the things. And that has been everyone's kind of primary transfer to Hyatt. And we haven't quite talked about this yet, but Bilt has some very good transfer partners. So Hyatt is one of them, and Alaska Airlines is another. They also have some other good ones that other card issuers don't have, but those are the 2 kind of primary ones that stick out for me. So I could see this making sense for the first year to get the 50,000 points and not use the card to pay your rent or mortgage. Like, I would not do that. And then I would use the Bilt cash to buy up in Status on a transfer bonus. So historically, Bilt has done transfer bonuses that are up to 100% transfer bonus. So what that means is like if you transferred 10,000 points, you would get 20,000 points in whatever the program is that has the transfer bonus. But the level of bonus that you get is dependent on your Bilt status. And I think it goes silver, gold, platinum. I actually don't know. Hold on. Sorry, no, it's blue, silver, gold, and platinum. So the Palladium card gives you gold status, so which is the second highest, but like you could utilize your Bilt cash. Let's say that they have they're not going to have a transfer bonus to Hyatt. It's literally never been done, so I wouldn't hold out hopes for that. But in 2025, for example, Bilt offered 100% transfer bonuses to Avios, so like British Airways, Iberia, Aer Lingus, Avianca Life Miles, Etihad, also to Hilton and Accor. Okay, so those are some examples of where if you had the highest Bilt status, you could turn one Bilt point into two whatever, Avios, Avianca, whatever. So here's where I think it makes sense. Okay, get the card, pay the annual fee for the first year, get the 50,000 points, probably use those for Hyatt, but use them for whatever you want, or save them and wait until there's a transfer bonus to a partner where you can utilize your Bilt cash to buy up to platinum status, which is the highest status level, and then get your 100% transfer bonus on your points. The other piece of this puzzle is Rakuten is now a transfer partner to Bilt, so you can, instead of just using your points for Amex, you can transfer them to Bilt. And through the May 2026 payout date, it's a 1-to-1 transfer. But after that, it's going to depend on the Bilt status level that you have. So the Palladium card, again, which is the premium $495 annual fee card, is going to give you gold status, which should absolutely continue your 1-to-1 transfer rate from Rakuten. So I think those two things combined could make the Palladium card make sense in the short term. And then from there, you'll have to decide, what kind of transfer bonuses did Bilt offer? What can I utilize the Bilt cash for? Because again, as we mentioned several times, it's not super clear right now. And it's like a half-baked idea that they absolutely should have had more clarity on before they launched this. And then you decide whether you want to downgrade, you want to cancel, whatever. So that's, I think, the best use case. Don't even think of it as a rent or mortgage card. Like, take that off the table unless you're paying, I don't know, like 2 or 3 mortgages. Maybe you've got rental property. I don't know. I have no idea. But we will not be getting the Bilt card for right now. The primary reason is I am 424 and you are 5 or 624. And I am saving my last 524 spot for the hopes that there is a Hyatt premium card coming in the next few months. Maybe I'm clowning, right? Like maybe I'm just Taylor Swifting all over the place, but that is my hope and I'm saving it for that. I don't think we will be getting the Bilt card anytime soon. So that is where we stand on it, or where I stand, and therefore where you stand.
Like I said, card sounds horrible. So,
and there you have it, folks. What Dwayne really wants to say is he wants to go watch the Texans Patriots football game. So this is probably where we're going to end the episode.
Go Bears.
It's a big game later today. If you're a Giants fan, congratulations. We reeled in John Harbaugh, and that is probably the most exciting news that the Giants franchise has had in many, many years. So hooray for us. If you have any questions on the Bilt card, or if maybe there's something I didn't cover, feel free to send me a DM on Instagram at TravelParty5. If any of you are listening are brand new, I will add the Bilt cards are absolutely not the cards that you should start with. And what you should start with are the Chase Sapphire Preferred or Reserve cards. And I will post links to our referral links for those in the show notes. We would be so grateful if you are going to apply, if you would utilize our link, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Thanks for tuning in and have a good one.
Bye.